Okay, so this is going to be a relatively short video here. I just want to talk a little bit about the homework and what it is that you're expected to do on the homework here. So if you look here at problem 16, there's several parts here. Part A, for instance, is 15 at an angle of negative 75 degrees, and you're supposed to convert that to rectangular. Here I want to show you work. Now, this really shouldn't be too bad. If I scroll back up here, we have equations that we've talked about and done examples with on how to do that conversion. So this really should just be formula plug and chug. And then part B for this problem is 19 e to the j 30 degrees, which remember is still polar format. If you want to, you can think of it as 19 at an angle of 30 degrees, and you need to show your work here as well when you're converting it to rectangular format. Now, part C on this one is 2.5 at an angle of 30 degrees plus 0.5 at an angle of 45 degrees. Now, we did an example like this in the notes here, and I want you to do this problem like that as well. So in essence, for problem 16, I want you to show your work for all parts. And then parts D and E are rectangular to polar. And actually, it's kind of using the FOIL method there. And for part E, I'll give you a hint here. 2 plus J2 times 5 at an angle of 22 degrees. You're supposed to multiply these numbers together and write the answer in polar format. Convert to polar, showing your work, and as a side note here, it's going to be some number here. Well, actually, I'll tell you what it is here. It should be square root of 8 at an angle of 45 degrees, but you need to show your work to get that. And then, of course, write square root of 8 as a number as opposed to square root of 8. But that's what it would be. And then, now that you've converted this portion to polar, just multiply the numbers using the polar multiplication that we talked about in this video, in the previous video. All right, so that's problem 16. Problem 18, you can use your calculator. Answers only are acceptable. So basically, problem 16, I want you to do all the work by hand. And then problem 18, I want you to be able to use your calculator because I want you to get used to using your calculator to do these computations. You can still do it by hand if you want to. And then problem 20, use calculator. Answers only are acceptable. All right, so, and all of that is just playing with complex numbers, adding, subtracting, writing them in the correct format. And again, the reason is because we're going to be doing complex number computations for the rest of the term here. All right, so that's just some hints on this homework assignment.